So for those just joining, I asked for everyone to pop in with one word, how you're feeling, an emotion, whatever's present for you right now. We've got excited, grounded. I would say I'm feeling very buzzy, excited and buzzy. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started, but first I want to give a moment to all of you. I just want you guys to take your hands, rub them together, just for a minute, get some energy pulsating through, and then turn them into your heart. Put both hands over your heart. And I just want to pour into you for a minute, give you so much gratitude for showing up, whether you're live or watching the recording. I'm so grateful for you. And I want you to take a deep breath in. Really feel your emotions that are present right now, the excitement, the groundedness, whatever is alive and present for you. Just find it in your body and really feel it. Keep your hands on your heart, your eyes closed. Really connect to your seat. And take another deep breath in. Now, I still want you to keep your eyes closed, but you can put your hands down from your heart. I'm going to read a little bit of a kind of a prayer talking about ceremony from a book that I read that I really loved and felt very connected to. Through ceremony, we learn how to give back. When we sing, we give energy through our voice. When we drum, we allow the earth's heartbeat to join with our own. When we dance, we bring the energy of earth and sky together in our bodies and give it out. When we pray, we give energy through our hearts. When we look upon our relations, we give blessings through our eyes. When we put all these activities together, we have a ceremony. One of the most powerful forms of gift giving we humans possess. When humans participate in ceremony, they enter a sacred space. Everything outside of the space shrivels in importance. Time takes on a different dimension. Emotions flow freely. The bodies of the participants become filled with the energy of life, and this energy reaches out and blesses the creation around them. All is made new. Everything becomes sacred. And that's from Dancing with the Wheel, the Medicine Wheel workbook. Now go ahead and take another deep breath in. Let those words land in your body. And I want to welcome you to the ceremony masterclass. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I am Dana of Earth. I have been a hairstylist for the last 12 years, holistic hairstylist for the last 5. And I went through a huge transition in the last 5 years of my career where I really tapped into the holistic side of business. I realized in my industry that there was this like shift needing to happen. I was feeling very excited, nervous, and emotional. I just saw some words. So there was a big shift that I was feeling within inside of myself that I wanted to create in my industry. And the ceremony masterclass, I'm jumping around now for a minute. I want to go back to the ceremony masterclass and just really embody the words and what this means to me, because the ceremony really came alive in my salon space within the last 5 years. The ceremony is really the ceremony inside the salon. It's the ceremony inside my space, inside of my life, and within my relations, within family, within all of the people I interact with in my daily life. And I also use the word ritual as another form of ceremony, but ritual to me is more of the individual. The ceremony I create individually. So it's the times that I take for creating ritual, for creating moments of like connecting to myself, connecting to my beauty rituals, connecting to the things that really, fill me up. And ceremony is like the things when there's a group, when there's moment of connection, when I'm working with a client, when I'm in the world interacting with people, when I'm connecting, when I'm talking, all of those things. So the ceremony and the ritual are kind of used, I use both of the words, but it's just the group versus the individual. So the rituals I create in my day-to-day life are the things individually that fill me up to then take into the ceremony of life that I am creating. My creation of life is from my ritual, from my ceremony. So now going into the last 5 years of being a hairstylist and a salon owner, I took a holistic approach because I knew that there was something missing within myself, within my space, within my clients. There was something that I was just looking for, that I needed something internal to shift. It wasn't the external, it wasn't the things outside of myself. It was really an internal shift that I was looking for. And I found that a lot of my clients were also looking for this internal shift, this thing that, was really, everyone thinks that change needs to come from outside of them. Change should come from these external things, the material world around us. But realistically, it really is the internal things that we need to connect with, that we need to dive into and like feel our emotions, feel ourselves, and really find where this change needs to come from. Really find why, as a hairstylist, I can see why clients come in and want to color their hair red or chop their bangs or chop all their hair off. Or we, as women especially, our emotions are driving our choices that we make. And in connecting with my clients a little bit more deeply and taking a moment, like really to just look at them in the eyes and have a moment of being like, hey, like, why do you want bangs? Why do you really want bangs? Why are you coloring your hair? Why do you really want to color your hair red? What's going on here? What's the deeper reason behind all of this? And I started finding that these women actually, just all my clients, even men, but mostly women who were more emotional, were wanting to make a change in their life, and they thought it was through their identity that this change was going to make an impact. But realistically, it was just this little bit of addiction, that they wanted this shift, they wanted this thing to happen, and it was this high that they got from it. It was like this little addictive like dose of something. It was like a little dopamine, a little change, a little different something that made them feel alive again. And then it subsided, and then looking back in my past, my clients would come back to me. I would chop their hair. Like the next month, they would come back and they would be like, "Don't ever let me do that again." And I'm like, "But you wanted it." And they're like, "But I didn't." And I'm like, "Okay, I see what happened here. Like, we just needed to have a conversation and talk about this. You didn't really need to chop your hair off, or you didn't need to cut bangs, So I started really building up this evidence in the last 12 years of doing hair. And 5 years ago, I made the shift to go more to the holistic side, because I realized that this internal shift needed to happen, and it needed to happen in my industry. And I really see it coming like in the world, in all of the workplaces. Consciousness is wanting to flow through all of our workplaces, all of the material world. And that's why ceremony of life is really coming, up and being so present for me, because consciousness is love. It's this greater unconditional love that's wanting to pour through us and come through all the things that we do in our day-to-day life. So connecting to that, connecting back to my heart, connecting back to my why, made me realize that I love connecting with humans. I love connecting with the people in my world. I love connecting more deeply and more emotionally, because I have a Scorpio stellium. So I'm all water, all emotion, all like, let's get deep, let's get into the juice. So as I was like finding this within my clients, that they were emotionally charged with their decisions, I really started like, okay, where can we shift internally? Where can we, start making differences and feel a little bit better, feel a little bit lighter, without having to chop your hair off, without having to do these changes. So that was my big shift. That was like something that really impacted me and really allowed me to start bringing consciousness into my life, into my day to day. And I just want you guys all to take another deep breath. I'm going to keep telling you to breathe throughout this because it's for me also. And I want to transition into a little bit of about my relationship with consciousness and how I really started feeling consciousness and love come through my body in a whole new way. 2 years ago, I attended this beautiful retreat and I was doing this work. It's neuro organizational technique, NOT. And the facilitator was working on my body and she was using meridian points and doing energy work on me. And without any medicine or anything else, I actually had this moment where I literally felt myself sink into the bed. And I have chills just talking about it because it was such an impactful moment for me. But I felt myself sinking into the bed, and my hands started growing into tree roots, and my body all started to like have roots coming out of it. It looked like a nervous system, but it was a tree. And it was the first time I felt super grounded into my body. And as this, the roots started to grow deeper, I felt myself sinking into the earth a little bit more deeply, a little bit more deeply, a little bit more deeply. And I literally turned into a tree. And it was like I was this big oak tree, grounded and planted deep into the core of the earth, just connected to earth in a way that I've never felt before. And my body was just surrounded in this love. And the energy rolling through my body was just like buzzing, and I was open to receive and the deepest level of receiving I have ever been open to before. And after that, we went into meditation, and it was Dr. Joe that we were listening to his meditations, and we had been listening to them to the days prior. But after that moment, when I listened to his meditation, I felt his words in my body in a way that I've never felt or received before. And it was in that moment that I realized consciousness was fully flowing through my body. My body was connecting to this deeper love, this thing that was beyond me and outside of myself that I didn't really know how to explain other than just allowing it, the energy to flow through me. And it was like the most beautiful moment I've ever had in that, just allowing and surrendering and receiving. And since that moment, I've expanded a little bit more. I've opened my body to receive a little bit more. And that truly is where I started shifting even more deeper into my work, deeper into my practices, deeper into my self care, deeper into wanting to feel that energy through my body, wanting to feel that love through my body. And even though I had a facilitator doing the work on me, it was all my mind, my body, and myself that was creating that grounded state, that really like beautiful flow of energy going through me. And she told me that that was consciousness, like in the moment when it was happening, and like a light bulb just went off, and I was like, wow, we are beautiful human beings on this existence, and we can feel energy. And like it was just like this light bulb of so many things that I had known for so long. And it was just this like enhanced feeling of like what we are here doing on earth, what we are creating, what we are capable of. Go ahead and take a deep breath and just let those words land. Allow yourself to feel the love and the consciousness running through your body. Now, after this moment, I went back to reality because I was in Costa Rica, I was in the jungle, I was in nature, I was immersed by like all this beautiful stuff. And I went back to reality and I had to integrate. And I had to integrate these like big, huge shifts that happened in my life. And in the integration, I felt very confused, but also I started really tuning in to myself more deeply. I knew that my body had felt consciousness running through it. I knew my body knew what love was, what it felt like, and my body just like wanted to feel that all the time. And I not only did I want to feel that, but I wanted to bring that into my space, like into my salon, into my relations, into all of the aspects of what I do. So there was this big activation after that moment where I was just ready to bring this into the world, bring this into my world, bring this into like my daily life. And I started really tuning into myself more deeply first. And I realized in order to make this shift happen, to make these changes, and to integrate this more deeply into myself, into my embodiment and who I be, that I really needed to allow myself to continue to receive and to continue to tap in to my own roots, my own groundedness, and my own foundation. And it was slowly that I started taking all the wisdom from being a hairstylist and connecting to my clients and finding different ways on like how we could actually feel good and internally shift ourselves and start making these integrative changes where I could make these changes and then I could bring them into my space. So I made a lot of changes in my world where, I had gone vegan prior, I was changing my diet, I was changing my products, and I was like really opening to like all these different aspects of myself and the world around me because I knew that I was receiving from everything because that really opened my eyes up to how I was receiving, how the world around me was constantly like kind of in the symbiosis with me. And imagine this infinity symbol of like, okay, if I give to myself and if I fill myself up, if I, nourish myself, if I add like better self care routines, if I am more mindful of the products that I'm using, I'm receiving in a different way and I'm creating this symbiotic relationship with the universe and with the quantum field and with everyone around me where there's like this beautiful receiving where when I'm giving to my clients and I'm filled up and then I'm giving to them, like they're giving back to me. And we have this infinity symbol of energy where we're both kind of giving and receiving. And it creates this beautiful symbiosis and this flow, and I started connecting to this more deeply. And that was why I made big changes in my life where I started using all natural organic products and I started being more mindful about what I used on my skin and on my body. And I was connecting to these different things in my outside world to just realize how I was receiving from them. And in a salon in the industry, it can be a very toxic space. If you're using products and hair color and things that are a little bit more toxic, I use my work as an example a lot because I think all women can, understand that because we've all been to a salon. And I'm sure everybody has been into a salon where there's a lot of gossip, there's a lot of toxicness happening, and you're receiving from that. So you're in this environment that's a little bit toxic, and you're listening to the gossip and you're listening to the stylist around you. And after you leave and you feel a little bit worse, like your hair looks beautiful and you feel great about how you look, but internally you're kind of like, ugh, like that was kind of a lot. Like Susie over here had a lot going on in her life, and I did not need to know that. So we are receiving energy all the time. But when we give ourselves so much like self-care, self-love, when we connect to this consciousness, we don't have to worry about when we go out into the world on what we're receiving. We don't have to have our defenses up. We don't have to protect ourselves because we are raising our vibration. We are amplifying ourselves because we are full of this deep self-love, this deep nourishment, this deep embodiment of self that when you go out into the space, you're just receiving beautiful things when you're out in these spaces, no matter where you are. And that for me is why I deeply felt connected to ritual. And ritual has come in many forms for me. Ritual is from the way I do my skincare the way I take a shower, the way I take a bath, the way I eat my food and plate it, the way I make a drink. Like I made an iced cacao in a beautiful little glass because it's fancy and I wanted to feel amplified with how I drank it. And the rituals are really the moments, the micro moments that I take and I tune in and I bring presence into what I'm doing. I bring myself to the here and now and the moment, and I am very intentional about what I'm creating. So I make a beautiful drink or I take a few extra minutes on my skincare to like really fill myself up and to feel amplified. And then I know when I feel amplified or whatever it is, when I go out into the world, I get to be amplified out in the world. So not only do I get to receive in an amplified state, but I get to give in an amplified state. So again, that's the symbiosis that we're creating, the love that we're creating, because there's so much love within ourselves that now we get to give that love back. And it's this beautiful energy in exchange. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Now, at the core of all of this, change was hard for me at first because I was very resistant to it. And we butt up resistance a lot when we know that there is something that our heart or our soul knows that there's something out there greater than us. And we connect to it and we have micro moments of it. It's those micro moments where I'm saying, like, you feel the love come through, you feel the energy, you feel amplified. And it's these micro moments where we feel this, but then we resist it. And change is a hard concept because I've butted up against it in the salon so many times. So I know the core of this very well. I have had clients who like wanted to cut their hair off so bad or wanted to do an extreme color. And I'm like, what in your life do you not have control over right now? Or do you feel out of control on that you're using your hair to hold on to this control? What is going on in your life emotionally where you're needing to control something within yourself that your hair is going to be that control? Because it's like they are talking to me and they're wanting to do these things and it's like they have control over their hair so they can create the illusion of control by what they do to their hair. But that change is not a change that's going to be sustainable. It's a change that's going to give that high again, like I was talking about earlier. It's going to be like a moment of like, I feel so good, I feel so relieved, I feel this and that, and then a week later you're going to be like, why did I do that? Or it's like somebody you saw was platinum blonde and you thought you wanted to go platinum blonde, and then you do it and then your hair's a little frazzled and fried, and then you don't realize the maintenance of it or all of the things. This relates to all aspects in our life. When we're wanting to change through doing or buying or creating the things outside of ourselves, we want to change something because we don't feel like we have control of something, or something is happening outside of ourselves that we just need to bring that control back, or whatever it is. But the real control, the real overcoming, is the overcoming of your body and yourself. And one of my favorite other daily ritual practices that I do is my meditations. And my meditations help me connect to the change at a deeper core level. It helps me recognize when I'm trying to change something outside of myself and I'm doing it from an egoic standpoint, a place that's not so like really embodied, kind of like a little and like, why am I really wanting to create this right now? So when I drop into my daily meditation, I have multiple moments to overcome myself. And literally before this, I did an hour-long meditation and I went to this space where I was like catastrophizing this class. And I was like, something's gonna happen and I'm gonna have to cancel it. And like the Zoom's gonna pop on and I'm gonna be like, emergency, like can't come on here, sorry. And I was like, excuse me, where did that just come from? And then I had to like sit there and observe, lovingly observe it and be like, you can take a seat now. This masterclass is going to be beautiful. And I'm so excited about it. And you're not going to self sabotage it, or you're not going to come in and make it be anything else other than exactly what it needs to be. And that was right in the middle of my meditation. And in the middle of that, when that happened, I started like amplifying it a little bit and being like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, no, no, lovingly, compassionately bring it back to myself. Let's overcome myself. Let's overcome this feeling. Let's overcome this emotion. And when we take moments to keep doing this for ourselves, when we do the meditation, when we do the self care, when we take a little bit longer in the shower, when we take moments to do our rituals a little bit more deeply and take a few extra minutes, it's the moments that we overcome ourselves and we start creating change from the core. We start creating change from our heart. We start allowing consciousness to flow through ourselves again. And we can create these beautiful new dynamics. And we can fill ourselves up more deeply and we can connect to our heart more deeply. And these meditation practices, like when I do them, when I say it's an overcoming of yourself, it really is learning your mind more deeply. It's understanding how our body and our mind are oftentimes disconnected. And our body is like this animal that creates this to-do list, and you know, it's literally like wanting to get up from the meditation to go do this, go do that, go do all the things that are not really that important, because what's important is making yourself feel loved, filling yourself up. The dishes can wait. They'll be there, all day. Whatever it is that you think you need to do, and most oftentimes can wait. So, in those moments when you choose yourself, when you choose to sit a little bit longer in your meditation, when you choose to wake up earlier to do your skincare routine or do it at night, when you take a moment to, in the shower, really feel the water going over your skin and taking a moment to connect to the water, to connect to the shower and give it gratitude and give it love and let it wash everything off of you. Those are the moments you always continue to overcome yourself. And those are the moments where you're starting to tame your body, say, hey, trust me. Trust me that you're going to feel great after this. Trust me that if we do this, we'll feel good. It's not going to be like a quick high, but it's going to be a sustainable high. We're going to feel great longer. If we do our skincare, our skin is going to thank us day in and day out, moment by moment. If we do our meditation every single day, we are going to start feeling better every single moment, every single day. And I've literally I've had so many people ask me, how do you sit and meditate for an hour? I don't understand. My mind is racing. This is happening. That's happening. I've literally sat for an hour and my mind raced the entire time. It was all over the place, but I sat the whole hour, and then I went and had the most amazing day because I was so present in my day outside of the meditation, because my mind raced for that hour and it kind of got it all out. And then I was like, okay, we're done with that now. And I kept bringing myself back, like during it, my mind would wander and then I bring myself back. But the whole time I was having to bring myself back and bring myself back. That is okay. It's okay to have that happen during a meditation. It's okay for your mind to wander. It's okay for you to have those moments of not wanting to do the things that we know will be good for us. We resist those things a lot because our body doesn't want to do it. And it's okay. You have to give yourself grace. You have to lovingly listen. You have to have compassion for yourself. And you have to know on the other side of the things that you don't want to do is oftentimes the biggest breakthrough, the biggest magic, the magic that's ready to come through. It's that moment when I was sitting there and consciousness ran through me. I had the most emotional, intense things happen before that, before I felt love, before I felt consciousness. And I had to go through the hard shit first to get to the beauty on the other side. I had to go through the things that I didn't want to do tame my body, make it build trust up within me, within myself, to allow myself to sit and really just be connected. So take a deep breath again. Take another deep breath. Just give yourself a moment to keep letting these words land. Open your heart a little bit more to receive. And take a deep breath. Beautiful. Now, when we start making these changes in our life and we have these micro moments of all the things that start making us feel better, we start building this trust in our body, then we start creating new beliefs. But sometimes in this resistance, we get very emotional, or we have a lot of anxiety, or we have a lot of overwhelm, or we have all these things within our body that are trying to make us resist. And it's important to recognize that anxiety, overwhelm, negative emotions or feelings always are a guidepost that's trying to show you something. Oftentimes, it's showing you that you have outdated beliefs that are no longer relevant, that you're still allowing yourself to be conditioned or believing and trying to live from that state. So when we make these changes, when we start going within, when we start meditating, when we start doing our daily rituals, we start creating these new little belief systems within us. It's really synaptic connections in our mind that we're creating. We're going from an old belief, from an old way, from an old emotion, and we're creating a new connection. But it is so important when we feel the anxiety, when we feel the emotion, that we tune into ourselves, because we will never get the message that it's trying to show us. We will never understand it more deeply and internally be able to shift and change until we get the message that it's bringing us, that it's showing us, that it's trying to let you know what needs to be changed, what's outdated, and what's no longer here to serve your highest good, your best self. And when we start tuning into this a little bit more deeply, we can kind of go in and excavate these things out of our body. You know, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling overwhelmed, that really is the time when you should tune in, close your eyes for a moment, find it in your body and follow it. See where it guides you, and then see what messages it has for you. And then once you clear it, you know, the message is there. You start creating that new connection and say, what is this new belief that I want to create? It's kind of like, instead of being under stress, you're under divine pressure because you're birthing something great. It's that little belief system, that little shift in your mind that's like really creating something a little bit more expansive. And it's really a moment when your stress is trying to show you that something needs to change. And it's not something outside of yourself, it's something within you. It's a belief system that might be from childhood, might be from your 20s, might be from past relationships, might be what somebody told you, might be something, you know, outside of yourself, whatever it is. It's an old belief system that's creating an anxiety, that's creating a stress, that's creating an overwhelm, because you've had this little ping of like, my heart wants this, my soul wants this, my higher self, my best self wants this. I want to create this reality, but I'm feeling anxiety over, I'm feeling stressed about it. I'm feeling defeated, I'm feeling whatever, that's the time to tune in. Nobody outside of you can ever give you the answers. No coach, no mentor, no person outside of yourself is ever going to give you the answers that are within you. Only you know what's within you. Only you know what's in your heart. Only you know what your soul wants. And only when you tune in will you then be able to take those little messages, those little pings, and let your soul run wild and have this passion for what you do, have this love for what you do, and really allow consciousness and love to flow through your life, flow through you. Only when you feel the outdated beliefs really and truly feel them and excavate them, then can you go into these higher places where you feel joy, where you feel happiness, where you feel love, where you feel excitement for life, where you feel unlimited, where you feel love so beyond yourself. And it's this connection to yourself that's really going to keep creating this flow, this receive and give, this receive and like beautiful flow of energy through you. And when you connect to all of these beliefs and these things within yourself, you can then be the co-creator of your life, of your reality, of whatever it is that you desire. Because we all have the birthright for abundance, for joy, for bliss, for pleasure, to be totally turned on by everything that we do in life. And I want my ceremony of life to be full of that. I want my ceremony of life to be full of bliss, to be full of pleasure, to be full of the fuck yes moments that I'm like, I co-created this. I created this reality because I believed in myself. I trusted myself. I sat down and I meditated every fucking day because I knew that on the other side of it, I would be expanded. I would love my life. I would love my work. I would be able to love it so much that now the people in my life love being around me and they feel expanded. And now, like, look at this freaking symbiotic relationship we're creating, and we all feel good and we all feel full of life and we all feel full of love. And my salon is fucking amazing. And everyone, when they leave, they go out into the world and feel great. And it's a domino effect. You're the ripple of change, and it starts with you. It starts with your heart. You get to be that ripple effect of every person that you interact with. Every person, even if it's the person at the coffee counter, you can say, hey, you look beautiful today. And like you feel so good. And then they feel that energy. And then that creates the ripple effect for them to go give somebody else a compliment. So this energy that we can create and this beautiful dynamic and ripple of change we can create in the world around us. And really it is like, in the eyes of the beholder, you get to be the change you wish to see in the world. And that's the micro moments that show you and prove to you that humanity is not that terrible, that we're all pretty fucking amazing, and we are connected to our hearts, and we get to just have these beautiful moments together. Like this moment right now, me talking to you guys and being connected to our hearts and just, letting me pour into you. This is so beautiful. And I'm just so grateful that you guys chose to be here and receive from me. Now take a deep breath. Now going back to our nervous systems and being grounded and feeling our emotions and feeling our connections, our nervous systems really do hold the keys to ancient wisdom. Our emotions hold keys to so many things within us, but we have to have the belief that our emotions are safe, that our emotions will give us information, that they'll take us somewhere. We were conditioned in life way early on. Women were conditioned to, not have emotions, to believe they're uncontrollable, to believe more, lower vibrational things that aren't true, because the emotions are the seat of the body. And that's where we build the resistance. That's why we have hard times going into our body. It's why we resist, because our emotions live there. So when we're avoiding, when we're feeling anxious again, it's the emotions and the information that we're not allowing ourselves to receive that can give us this beautiful expansion into something way beyond what we could ever imagine. And take a deep breath. Our emotions are so important to have. They will unlock so many things within inside you, within inside your body, within inside your truth, your power, all of the aspects of who you be. You are safe to have your emotions. You are safe to allow your nervous system to be grounded. You are safe to tap into your body, to tap into the wisdom, to tap into the innate healing that's within you. And take a deep breath. Now, I hope that this really was an activation for you to create change in your life, to know that if you are wanting to enhance your life through beauty rituals, through meditation practice, through daily things, working out, whatever it might be, you must tune into your heart and your desires and your body to have clarity on where and why that change, where it's coming from and why. Connect to your mission, connect to your purpose, connect to your why more deeply, and allow it to activate those changes within you and outside of you. I made so many changes in my life being a holistic stylist and going to the natural, organic side of things. I did it the extreme way at first, where I went to my product and my food and threw everything out. And, it doesn't always have to be so extreme. It can literally just be like choosing, I literally started just flossing my teeth every day as like a fun little practice, like to build up routine within myself. And when I started building up these little rituals every day, I was able to expand into bigger rituals of what I can do, like that consistency, the things that were filling me up. I was able to create more rituals in my day. So I started it with, flossing my teeth, and then it turned into daily meditation, and then it turned into skincare routine that is full of holistic, beautiful products, and a shower that's full of all organic products, a kitchen that's full of all organic food, plates that are sustainable and made with non-toxic and coatings, cookware that's all non-toxic, so it was like one little thing that led me into creating the rituals in my life that were super expansive. So you have to find your purpose and your why of like what it is you want to change in your life, and what are the little things that how you want to fill your cup up, how you want to fill yourself up. And find that one thing, do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks, whatever you need to really start making this change. Find those things and keep doing it every single day. Keep overcoming your body every single day. When you don't want to floss your teeth, just floss your teeth. I promise you, on the other side of it, your teeth will be happy. Flossing my teeth actually was a huge game changer. Like, it sounds so funny, but like, I now floss my teeth every day. And like, if I don't floss my teeth, I'm like, I need to floss. And it's just one of those weird things that I think is actually really important. But as a child, I was like, don't touch my teeth with floss. I don't want to floss. It was this thing I had a huge resistance to. But flossing my teeth has been a great little thing that I've added in. And when you do all these little moments of routine, then you can build up the momentum to then do the amplified things, do the bigger things. So take a deep breath again. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Continue to allow yourself to be activated, to allow the words to land deeper into your body, to recognize that you get to be the change you wish to see in the world. And tune into your heart and allow yourself to receive. Receive the love of the universe. Receive the love of Mother Earth. Receive the love that's all around you every day. And allow it to pour through your body. From your head to your heart, to your abdomen, down through your legs, out the bottom of your feet. It penetrates deep into the earth. Now imagine roots coming out of your feet, anchoring you deep into the core of the earth. Allow those roots to grow deep. Allow your foundation to be strong. And know in this present moment, you get to make the change. You get to be the change. You are the co-creator of your life. And take a deep breath. And take your hands, place them over your heart. Allow yourself to be filled with love. Receive, receive, receive. I honor you deeply for being here. I'm giving you so much gratitude for receiving my words, for receiving my energy, for being in symbiosis with me. Now take a deep breath in. Put your hands down. And open your eyes when you feel ready. For everyone watching the recording, thank you so much for being here as well. For those of you who are live, I have one more little offer that I'm going to drop in right now. But if you feel complete, I appreciate you for being here so much. I thank you for spending your evening with me. And I'm just so grateful for each of you. Mwah. So